Okay, have not fans. Now, I apologize for being gone for a week after last week's episode of Have and Have Nots, but it was a good episode. Don't get me wrong, it was a great episode. But the thing is, I didn't have enough evidence to move forward with a new theory. I actually went home for I think half a day on Saturday, and talked to my mom about the haves and the have-nots. And one of the theory, and I am mad at myself for not making a video on this earlier. My mom broke it down, and the video is mainly going to be on my mom's theory. Sorry about the stumbling. I literally just took a nap. I woke up and I'm rewatching last night's episode. I actually caught it, excuse me, on lunch break at work because my apartment's only a few minutes away. So I went home, DVR'd it, and wow, it was great. Basically, the theory my mom was talking about was in regards to, hey, Catherine's going to make Veronica pick up the gun so that her fingerprints are on it. And the way that Catherine said, oh no, the gun is right next to her. Because she kept talking about how Veronica couldn't bait her, but she ended up baiting Veronica because Veronica has that paranoia that everybody's out to get her, everybody's against her. That could be linked back to, oh no, Jeffrey's gay. You're doing this to humiliate me. Or every woman is after my husband, David, and that's going to ruin the marriage. Honestly, her woman's intuition was right a few times. Number one, Maggie Day was the first one, because there maybe were slight subtle hints back in season 2, but really it wasn't anything major up until the point where Veronica confronted Maggie Day about it. If I'm not mistaken, it was outside the Crier house. It was right during the birth, if you will, of the David versus Veronica over Jeffrey being gay. And, trying to break it down. Honestly, there are 4 videos I need to do. 4 solid have and have not videos. And it's Wednesday night. Just took a nap, so I'm going to end up recording them all tonight. So I don't know the order they're going to be out, but just know that I want to do a detailed video about David and Veronica, about whose fault is it that their marriage, or in this case, divorce, is going on. So again, that's another video to look out for. But I'm trying to remember. Oh, there it was. It was right after Wyatt got arrested the first time, and Maggie called David late at night. It was at the Crier house. Gosh, I forgot the details. Basically, it was that phone call that David got on the phone late at night. Veronica took the phone saying that better not be her. Oh, I need to teach you not to call a married man this late at the night. But it was to go talk to Jim at the jail. Basically, right after Veronica confronted David about Maggie Day, that's when it really became obvious that she had a thing for him. I believe the next day at the campaign office, she walked up to him and said, hey, Jim, you look great. And then went up to David and was like, oh, David. So pretty much Veronica's intuition, I want to say intuition, not paranoia, is right some of the time. But even in season 1, when Veronica had David followed and saw that he gave the red sports car to Candace because she thought he was having an affair, Catherine said that there are a lot of times where you think every woman David talks to is somebody that is trying to steal him from you. Just like before the show started, I guess you could say pre-Have and Have-Nots, and Tyler Perry, you still need to do a movie about that. There was a woman that Veronica thought was after David, but it turned out to be a party planner for Veronica's surprise birthday party. So there are times where Veronica's intuition or instincts are great, but 9 times out of 10, basically she sees clues that aren't even there. Just like at the end of the episode where she thought David and Catherine and a third party, I'm guessing Jim, are working together to put her away in jail. Even when Catherine subtly said, it's just like you said, David, and hinting that, oh, you've been talking with her behind my back. And Catherine's like, it's that easy, right? Just to kind of show that just one little tip can turn Veronica over the edge. Now, basically, my mom's theory was everything Catherine is doing is just the groundwork of putting Veronica away. Number one, the whole shooting Jennifer Salison. If you think about it, there's plenty of evidence that supports Catherine being innocent of the crime. Remember that Catherine was the one to call Veronica to call Jennifer Salison to come over to her house to begin with. So right there, if they check Jennifer's phone, the last phone call she received was from Veronica Harrington, and it doesn't help Veronica that her phone is out in her car still. Then we move on to, Jennifer showing up at the house. Obviously Catherine shooting her multiple times, throwing the gun down on the couch. The big thing here is, wait, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Catherine stab Veronica with the knife first? So shouldn't she be bleeding out as well? I don't know. Maybe her wound isn't as intense as Catherine's. But anyway, I wonder if that knife is going to be a playing factor because if I'm not mistaken, is it Catherine's whose fingerprints was on it last? Right before, I think right before David showed up. Yeah. But in any case, the big clue here that my mom tipped off was in the preview, we saw, Veronica had the gun. Again, it was Catherine's ploy to get Veronica set up by having her fingerprints on the gun. So that's going to be interesting. I can see it now that, if David really does believe Catherine is right, that Veronica was the one to kill Jennifer, the fingerprints on Catherine could be, hey, Veronica's fingerprints are the most, recent fingerprints on there. Not to mention that Catherine could have had the fingerprints on there because she was fighting off Veronica, hence when the knife came into play and she got stabbed. So things are not looking good for Veronica, and obviously she's not going to shoot anybody. I don't know, either because A, Jim shows up at the last minute, B, we can see that I'm willing to bet money, I think I said this in another video, there are probably no more bullets left in that gun to begin with, because I'm pretty sure Catherine knew how many bullets were in there, and she knew how many shots she took at Jennifer. So even though she's trying to bait Veronica, I doubt she would bait Veronica to pick up the gun and point it at them unless she knew for a fact there were no bullets left. So pretty much Catherine Cryer, wow, she has it down. She has it down. And, Jim's going to show up next week. And honestly, I was a bit wrong because I thought he would have showed up again by now. But again, it looks like he is showing up in next week's episode. So I'm wondering how things are going to take effect. As he said, he is the authority. So I'm pretty sure it's like he told Catherine at the end of last season, don't do anything without me because you tend to leave behind big messes and I end up having to clean them up. So I'm pretty sure he's going to help with the extraction and Jennifer and whatnot. And Veronica has her hands full, I'll put it that way, because there are so many things that have to be done. Because, again, it's just good to see her come up, and it's just amazing to see her on the receiving end of lies, deceptions, being the victim, if you want to go that far, because even though it's something that's long deserved due, like she's getting her dues now. I don't know if she's going to be I wouldn't say nicer so much as, doing things that she's forced into doing. Because, again, there is the shot of her, wearing a white dress and everything. Hair is fixed up, so obviously she's alive. She's going to, I believe it's if I'm not mistaken, it's the Sarandon Hotel or Summer Hotel. Or, how the restaurant. Well, then again, it probably is the Sarandon, but we're seeing like a restaurant-like setting as opposed to just the bar scene. Well, the bar, set up. And we see Jeffrey and Candace there. And it, honestly, she looks like she has a nicer face, so I don't know. She's the queen, not just the ice queen, but again, that iciness could have melted away in terms of humility, and maybe she does something to help out Candace and Jeffrey, because we know the cops find the body in the preview of the next episode. So again, that's just maybe my prediction, maybe 2 episodes from now, because again, just the way she's coming up to them, she doesn't have that conniving, cocky, I'm the queen face. It looks like she's coming over there with just a different aura about her. Again, I could be wrong because, again, this is just a couple of scenes from a preview, but it's just something different about the way she looks, because, that look where she's like that calm, beautiful black woman, but there's a fierceness about her. Now it's almost like she kind of came down a few pegs and just calmly approaching her, past enemies. Well, again, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But in any case, I'm just impressed by Catherine Cryer because, again, even in her grief, slight insanity, she is playing Veronica like a chump, and it looks like things are going to turn, just a while. again, I might even have to do another video because if you notice, it looked like, if you look at like and again, I just love the way this show is written now. If you look at the first couple of seasons, it's all about, secrets. Well, this show is still about secrets, obviously, because if everything was out in the open with each character, there wouldn't be as much mystery going on. When you look at like the Harringtons and the Criers, it's always been that clique of four, Jim, Catherine, Veronica, David. And they've kind of been, maybe, I wouldn't say manipulating each other during season one. It's all about, playing off of each other. Like David has Jim's back to hide the affair with Candace. Veronica's, I don't want anybody to think that my son is gay. And Catherine saying, even if I'm not mistaken, what was it, like season one, even season two, she was all like, Veronica isn't my friend. She's only my maybe companion in terms of she wants to be around me for, just to save social appearances, if you will, to boost her own status in society. And now it's the deeper we got into the show, like each season by season, instead of, playing off each other in terms of, Jim and David have their, detectives and whatnot, and Catherine and Veronica have their own. It's like deception in the ranks now. Like Veronica's setup for Wyatt in the jail was known by David, but he didn't reveal it to Jim, who got mad at him. Those two had a big brawl for a while. Now they're pretty much buddy-buddy again. Then we have, obviously, Catherine finding out from Jeffrey what happened to Wyatt, and now she's off the deep end. So those two are having a much bigger brawl than and because David said many times, you don't want me as an enemy, because what did he say? I'm a good friend, but I'm a better enemy. And he said, if anything happens to my wife, I'll kill you. And now at this point, if anything happens to my son, I'll kill you. And Catherine pretty much held true to that promise. So I don't think those two are going to make. I don't think they're going to make up. I'll put it that way. I don't think there's ever going to be any kind of recovery from that. And I'm interested to see where things are going. So pretty much this video is I think I think the title of this video is going to be "Is Veronica Screwed?" Because honestly, as Jeffrey said, she has no cards left. So I'm interested to see how things are going to go down with her. Again, perfect time for her mom to show up. Well, then again, maybe a little bit too much is going on right now, but I would just be interested to see what would happen if her mom shows up, because there are way too much going down in Savannah, Georgia, and Veronica, it looks like she's finally getting her comeuppance. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Did Catherine pretty much, pull the fingerprint scheme in terms of getting Veronica's fingerprints on the gun? That way she's pretty much in her hands, like, all the evidence is lined up against her. Not to mention that she was smart to tell David Veronica was the one to do it, because her track record isn't the best, especially even David bringing up the whole Maggie Day thing and trying to kill him. Well, he didn't say it, but, trying to kill him in a burning house. Things don't look good for Veronica. So with that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, comment, obviously, and subscribe, because, again, I'm going to try to get up at least 4 videos before next week.